Welcome to my new series of actually using the cards I pulled, but online since I don't have any friends in real life to play with. In this video, I will be going over the deck I will be using for the subsequent number of duel videos. I will be piloting a ZORO leader deck. You can get a glimpse of how I play the matchup versus other leaders. There will also be some mirror matches as well. I will be going over each card and explain the deck. Alright, let's get started.
Card D Kaizoku.
First, let's talk about the leader card. Roronoa ZORO from OP01 Romance Dawn. He's a monocolor red leader card with the effect Dawn times 1. On your turn, all your characters gain plus 1000 power. The Dawn times 1 means that you need to have a Dawn attached to him for the effect to activate. Another way to think about it is attaching one Dawn to your leader is like attaching one Dawn to all your characters, but without actually using up any Dawn. This means the effect already pays for itself with one other character card on the field, and it only goes up in value from there. Another reason why this effect is so strong has to do with the magic number of 4000 power. With his effect active, character cards with 4000 power suddenly become 5000 power, which means that they are strong enough to attack enemy leaders. This turns a majority of the other cards in this deck into real threats. Let's go over them now. Here we have Uta. She costs 4 and her effect is on play, return up to one red character card other than Uta with a cost of 3 or less from your trash to your hand. She's a good way to recycle key cards in your deck. I've used her to bring back cards that gave me enough damage for lethal, and I've also used her to bring back 2k counters to protect the card that would give me lethal the following turn. There's a bit of skill expression due to this decision making. She also has that magic 4000 power number. The only downside is that she doesn't have any counter power. Next up is Otama. She costs 1 and has the effect, on play, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2000 power during this turn. Otama has saved my ass more times than I can count. To begin with, she's a 2k counter, which is very strong in this card game. Secondly, she combos well with a few other cards in this deck. She can bring large bodies into Robin's effect range, jet pistol range, or even in range to attack. Next we have Sai. He's basically just VV. A vanilla 2 cost 4000 power card with 1k counter. It's just a cheap card with that 4000 power magic number. Next we have OP01 Sanji. He costs 2 and has 3000 power. His effect is activate on your main turn once per turn. You may add one card from your life area to your hand. This character gains plus 2000 power during this turn. Then give this character up to 2 rested Dawn cards. 90% of the time I just use him as a 2k counter. On instances where I have deployed him though, opponents do get caught off guard that he can suddenly become 7000 power after using his effect. He can also help you get priority cards stuck in your life area into your hand. If you're running 4 of him, I would suggest also running Radical Beam as his effect can help you reach that 2 life threshold quicker. But again, I mostly use him as a counter. Next is OP01 Nami. She costs 1 and has 2000 power. Her effect is, on play, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck. Reveal up to 1 Straw Hat Crew type card other than Nami and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. She gives you so much flexibility. She can fetch ZORO if you're facing a slow control deck, she can fetch Robin if you need tempo, she can even fetch Jet Pistol in clutch moments. You need it, she'll probably find it. And she's a 1k counter to boot. In a lot of my games, I do use her to attack as well, since it only takes 2 Dawn while ZORO's leader ability is active to be high enough to attack the enemy leader. Next is OP01 Nico Robin. After my testing, I feel like Robin is one of the more important cards of the deck. She has so much insane value packed into her kit. She costs 3 and has 4000 power. Her effect is Dawn times 1 when attacking, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 3000 power or less. That means she can attack one target while killing another target for the price of 1 Dawn. She helps keep the enemy's board free of small blockers. She slows down the red-green law deck a lot, and whenever I play her early, she becomes the priority target of all removal. And she's also a 1k counter to boot, such an amazing card. Next we have OP01 character ZORO. Another important card in the deck. He costs 3 with 5000 power and he basically just has rush, which means he can attack the turn he is played. You know how I said 4000 was the magic number? Well, 5000 is the magic number. With leader ZORO's ability active, character ZORO would have 6000 power. That means a 5000 power enemy leader would need 2 1k counters or a 2k counter to block him. He's just such a strong body for low cost and with rush. He's a card you play proactively. Next is Shanks. He costs 9 and has 10,000 power. His effect is he has rush, and when attacking, your opponent cannot activate a blocker character that has 2000 or less power during this battle. I'm sort of still on the fence about him though. There are some duels where he's a dead card in my hand, but there are also some other duels where he comes in clutch. I wish he at least had 1k counter. Honestly, I put him in the deck just to flex that I have him. Next is starter deck Sanji. He costs 2 and has 4000 power. His effect is Dawn times 2, this character gains Rush. At best, he's a worse Zoro for a turn. At worst, he's a vanilla Sai or Vivi, which are cards that are already good enough to be in the deck. So it's a no-brainer to include him. The only downside is that he doesn't have any counter power, so I tend to just play him as a vanilla card more often than not. But I like the flexibility to play him as a rush threat when I need to. I'm still debating the ratio of Sai to Sanji's, but this is where I'm at right now. Next is Nefertari Vivi. 2 cost 4000 power. Same sentiments as Sai. Next is starter deck Monkey D. Luffy. He costs 5 and has 6000 power. His effect is he has Rush, and for Dawn times 2, when he's attacking, your opponent cannot activate blockers during this battle. His ability to ignore blockers helps you close out some games. He has 7000 power while Zoro's leader ability is active, which is a number that a lot of people let attacks through at since it takes so many resources to counter it. Onto the event cards, we have Radical Beam. Radical Beam's ability is, on counter, your leader or up to one of your characters gains plus 2000 power during this battle. Then, if you have 2 or less life cards, that card gains an additional plus 2000 power during this battle. In the late game, it's easy to have 1 mana open for a 4000 power counter. I am very liberal with life in the early stages so that I can reach that 2 life threshold for the second effect. In my testing, 2 life seems to be a good total to start defending at, since there are leader cards like Kid and Red Green Luffy who can attack twice, or Kaido who can wipe out 1 life card entirely. 2 life is a perfect cushion. Next we have In 2 Years to Shavondi. Its effect reads, look at the top 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 Straw Hat Crew type character card and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Same good points as Nami, but only searches for character cards. There's no body to go along with it too, but it can be activated through a trigger. Next up is Jet Pistol. Its effect reads, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 6000 power or less. Removal in this game is good in general, and it's completely necessary in some matchups. 6000 power covers a lot of targets, and Otama can help you hit the ones that go above it. Lastly is Diable Jambe. Its effect reads, select up to one of your Straw Hat Crew type leaders or character cards. Your opponent cannot activate blocker if that leader or character card attacks during this turn. For this card, I kinda have the same opinion as Shanks. It's won me games before, but it also has been a dead card in my hand. The trigger has come in clutch for me too, but it whips more often than not. One card I've been considering is Gum Gum Fire Fist Pistol Red Hawk. Its effect reads, on counter, your leader or one of your characters gains plus 4000 power during this battle. Then KO one of your opponent's characters for 4000 power or less. Leaving 2 Dawn open is a pretty steep price for a proactive deck though, but I feel like there's so many moments in my matches where I remember thinking I could have gotten a lot of value out of this card. Maybe it's just some cognitive bias where I only noticed a few times I could use it effectively, but not all the times it could screw up my tempo or just be a dead card in my hand. Well, that pretty much sums up my thoughts and how I approach playing this deck. I'm not a pro TCG player or anything, so don't take what I say as gospel. I have played over 20 matches so far though, and these were my findings. If you enjoy my content, be sure to like and subscribe for more, as I will be posting videos of actual duels after this. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Card D Kaizoku.